Hey, good morning, everybody. This is a DevCast, and welcome. Tonight we have myself, Orangeswim, and Tessero. How's it going, Tessero? Alright, right now we're just waiting for everybody to come in. It's bright and early, 7:33 a.m. Central Time. Talking about some of the new cards that came out last night. It looks like it's more starter deck cards. Give me a second to pull them up. Hey, good morning, good morning. Let's get these cards on the screen. It's nice they're giving us 3 cards at a time right now. Lots of things to talk about. And they're fairly interesting, if you ask me. Give me a second. I see Tessero's bubble talking, but I can't hear him. Oh no, that's why. Alright, Tessero, I'm sorry. If you were saying something, I just realized my thing was muted and deafened. Good morning, Tess.
I was saying good morning.
How's it going?
Good.
Alright, there we go. I was like, I see his bubble talking. How come I can't hear anything? Alright, give me
Don't worry about it.
Let me get this image on my desktop and put it on the stream. So we have ChikuChiku BangBang, needle spray, and then the middle one laser eye, and the last one death claw and or touch of evil apparently was translated to. Okay, so first off, let's talk about needle spray. I mean, it's very basic, 2 cost. Rest 1 Digimon, and then let me get the thing on the window. What are your thoughts about this card?
It's really interesting, especially since it is an alternative to Flower Cannon, and it shows up right when new Mega effects are starting to almost replace Flower Cannon. Like, we now have stuff like Mega Gargomon and Hercules Kabucherimon starter deck, and Karasmon that almost are allowing people to cut Flower Cannon from their deck, and now we have an actually good alternative to Flower Cannon.
Right, okay, let me read this effect one more time. And good morning, everybody. Now we got Quix and Nighthawk joining us. How are you guys doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great.
Alright, let me read the effect again. Suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. So for those of you who don't know what suspend is, it is resting or tapping Digimon. And then security, activate this card's main effect, then add this card to hand. So it's kind of like a Hornbuster, but yeah. I don't know if I would say better, but
I mean, it's Flower Cannon, but has Hornbuster's security effect instead of Flower Cannon's, which is really interesting, because Hornbuster's security effect is actually still pretty good because of the fact that it rests blockers, unlike Flower Cannon's security effect. But it doesn't save you from, when they have, 5 attackers and you have 1 security. So it's an interesting compromise to make if you're actually considering running this over Flower Cannon.
Right, and you don't have to compromise, before Flower Cannon, you're like, oh man, I can't rest it because it has blocker or whatever. This one doesn't have those conditions.
Right, and sometimes you don't always need the full effect of Flower Cannon, because they only have 2 Digimon or something, and often not that's the case. But there are those situations where Flower Cannon really saves your butt. and security.
How about everybody else? You guys liking this card?
I think it's viable. Yeah, I definitely think like I definitely think if you're running a deck in which you're running Flower Cannon, there's like automatically an argument for whether you'd want to run this or Flower Cannon.
It's definitely going to come down to player preference.
That's true.
Whether or not they want that, that emergency sort of savior but from a lethal sort of thing.
So, I mean, do you guys think this is going to be a new staple? I mean, we've seen the option cards in the other starter decks, and those have been really important. These cards seem to be one of those.
I don't think Flower Cannon in general is much of a staple in green right now, but
not as much. It used to be, but like I said before, the new mega effects have been almost been able to allow people to replace Flower Cannon.
Like maybe if we start getting megas that don't have like inherent rest but are really strong otherwise, cards like this might start seeing use again.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a plus to have it rather than not. Like it's a good addition to green's pool.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if you have an Izzy on the board, this is a 1-cost option basically. Izzy, if your opponent's Digimon becomes rested, by resting this card, get +1 memory.
Yeah,
it's true.
Let's see, so far, I'm trying to see if we have other cards that synergize. The Rosemon, not really. Obviously, the Hercules Kabuterimon, you don't have to Digiburst, you'll just go ahead and Pierce since you have...
I think the most relevant green mega right now would be Imperial Dramatic Dragon mode. The green one, the second rare.
Imperial Dramatic Dragon mode, yep.
That's an effect that wants... That's a mega that wants you to have some sort of way to rest up on its Digimon.
and Flower Cannon tends to not be like enough.
Right.
Yeah, with this you can run like 8 Flower Cannon effects if you're
Yep.
if you're inclined to.
If you're inclined to do some weird stuff, like you can have a deck that just runs 8 Flower Cannons.
Before I think I had a piercing Dino Beam on Centric deck, and this will guarantee that things will get rested and destroyed. So, okay. Because before
Like if you
go ahead.
Theoretically, you could create a deck that's similar to Herc, and then it's like a stun deck, but like focusing entirely around just option cards like this and Flower Cannon. Because like Izzy makes it, if you throw down one Izzy, it essentially makes it so that you can always use one of these and not have to end turn.
That's right.
And so theoretically, if you're running like 4 of this and 4 Flower Cannon, and you just drop an Izzy on like turn 1 or 2, theoretically, as long as you have a big enough body on board, you'll be able to rest something every turn and swing it at it. It doesn't really solve like the raising area issue, and I probably wouldn't say it's better than Herc, but it's like stuff you can do.
Yeah, maybe you can play Tandem Turbo again, like it's BT2 all over again.
Nice. Okay. Let's go ahead and look at the next card here. The card is Laser Eye. Who's that Digimon there? Do you guys know?
That's Jezamon, isn't it?
I'm just not familiar with these ones right now.
I think we saw Jezamon as the new vanilla in the starter deck as well.
Gotcha. Does he transform or... I'm just not looking at the card right. Anyways, Laser Eye. Main trigger Digivolve 1 on up to 2 of your opponent's Digimon. Security, activate this card's main effect.
It's certainly interesting. Black decks don't generally play a lot of options, and I don't know if this will actually cause them to change their minds. It's slightly more impactful than, like, say, Spider Shooter, you get twice the effect for only 1 extra memory cost.
That's right. It's just one more spider shooter. Is 3 cost. Basically similar security effect.
We talking about laser eye now?
Yeah.
Laser eye.
I don't know. It's a bit overcosted.
Is it? Because it's like just barely. It only costs 1 more than Spider Shooter for double the effect of Spider Shooter.
No, like I don't mean that it's overcosted in the sense that it's not making the value of what it does. I just don't think that an effect like this is worth a 4 memory drop.
Okay, that's fine. And then just a reminder to everybody, when you do the option, you can't pick the same Digimon.
Yeah, I feel like if this was like worded as in like D-Digivolve 1 and then D-Digivolve 1 again,
Mm-hmm.
it would be a lot more flexible and playable. But the way it is, it's kind of got that it's got that Heat Viper problem where there's going to be a lot of times where you can't use it, but it's like way less punishing.
Right.
So I don't know why you play this particularly. Like what you're particularly afraid of that you play this.
You want to go like this is a stretch kind of, but like you're like playing some sort of black like Ricky Rush strategy. This can like get like the Digivolve 2 blockers at once. Just
That's true.
kind of a really silly thing to think about, because then they'll just hard casting their blockers instead.
Oh no, I've got it. This card's amazing, and this card's amazing in Shikuamon control.
Okay.
Yeah, that
And Newmon says this option also shows D-Digivolve was overcosted on Spider Shooter. Okay.
yeah.
Possible, but very possible.
Greymon, I think, is still the most efficient Digivolve card. Unlike this, it's an evolution which you need to keep tempo really well.
So unlike Needle Spray, this option doesn't have any real good synergy with the Tamer in the starter deck, which is tie opponent's turn. If your Digimon is rested by using blocker, by resting this card, one of your Digimon becomes active.
Yeah, that's kind of like a running theme with Black right now, though.
They're trying to go 2 different ways.
More than 2. They've got like 3 or 4 different things going on, and none of them really have any great bridge.
Mm-hmm.
And once the blocker focused, this one looks like a D-Digivolve focus.
It's got like a lot of weird gimmicky stuff, and it's got some just like fine cards like the Black War Greymon promo and stuff like that, where and none of these things really mesh too well together.
Right. The only thing I think I could maybe think of for this card would be a delaying tactic for like a Diabormon deck. I know Diabormon deck is really hard to run because it's not that great right now, but maybe I put 1 or 2 of these just to delay the game.
I just feel like just a weird stall card.
Yeah.
And you can ask how just like awkward stall works out for them.
It's just one of those weird cards that like I said, if it was more flexible, there might be a use to it. But the way it is, it's you play this, and then you're like stalling, like making things smaller than your blocker. But then generally what someone's going to do is they're not going to make both of those things big again. They're just going to build off of one of them.
Right.
And you essentially just pass turn to do nothing.
Okay. In that case, let's move on to the next card, which is gonna be Touch of Death, or Touch of Evil, Deathclaw. Main, you may delete one of your Digimon to delete up to one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. And security, delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. So this is kind of like Chimeramon, but in the option form and just 1 level lower, right?
This is really interesting because you compare it to Heat Viper, it's like half the effect. but like for 1/5 of the cost.
This thing is like, this is like a real big buff to Mallow. And I think Mallow needed it. I don't know if it's going to change whether it's playable or not. This does a lot for Mallow.
You get 1 memory for each Digimon destroyed, so if you use the main effect, that's +2 memory for a cost of 1, so a total net of +1 memory.
So in case if you use it with, like, say, Lilithmon, you get the +1 memory from using it.
Lilithmon also get you free memory back with this card.
I think the most interesting, I think one of the more, like, applicable ways to use this card is, like, in, like, early aggression. Oftentimes the strategy with purple decks is to start ramming your on deletion effect Digimon into their security, like your Tapermons and your Impmons. Usually when they have a blocker out that gets in your way. But this is like the best possible solution for that. You get rid of that blocker and you still sacrifice one of your Digimon to trigger its on deletion effect.
The primary effect is, it's really good for the just poking strategy, but I really do think the security effect is like real cruel. Just being able to like hit a blocker or something.
And this is one of like the cheapest level 4 destruction cards we've seen. Even with let's say let's say I have to kill one of my Digimon, right? So the cheapest Digimon I can play is 2 cost. This is a 3 cost level 4 destruction. Assuming I don't already have a free rookie on the board.
Yeah. It's
not very card efficient though. Since if you hardcast a rookie to use this, that's like -2 in your cards in your hand to destroy one Digimon.
No, it is, but it is a play to get around blockers and stuff for lethal, because if you're playing out of Digimon, it wasn't going to swing anyway.
Yep.
So you drop it.
Another like really really important detail about this card is like this is currently the cheapest way to force sacrifice your own Digimon if you want to do like combos.
That's
like
true.
with say, return match and any on deletion effects. Like a lot of people, like when Dun Devimon was being talked about, a lot of people were mentioning using return match and like sacrificing it with like say Chimeramon, and that's like a huge memory investment for that. This is much more way cheaper if you want like force sacrifice your Dun Devimon.
This can't force sacrifice Dun Devimon. Oh no, it can. Never mind. I missed.
Yeah.
I had misread it as requiring a level 4 or lower Digimon for you to pop too.
No, you delete anything you want on your own side.
Yeah, for sure. This is really.
Alright, Dun Devimon, I already forgot what he did exactly.
Me too.
Opponent's turn. Let me change what the screen is showing right now. It is opponent's turn. Once per turn, when your security stack is reduced, trash one of your opponent's security cards. On deletion, your opponent trashes 2 cards from their hand.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that. Just blow them up to blow up another Digimon. It trashes their hand. I mean, if you're really, like you guys were saying before, you're already ahead. This is just a way to really crush them in the ground.
There are interesting applications for this. I think it's going to be. I think some of the more interesting ones are like theoretically multicolor, because this doesn't specify purple.
That's right. It's a 1 cost, so definitely can try to splash it in another color.
Like for the first thing that comes to mind is like yellow force popping Salamons.
Somebody in chat was saying, imagine playing this on your Dun Devimon with Sakaimon Source. Get the plus memory back, basically.
Basically.
could also play this card in a more like rookie rush deck. Even will now have some teeth to kill other cards.
Yeah.
As long as you're playing some purple.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it also helps to enable splashiness, especially since maybe also reduces the cost of it. Or heck, just play matte instead, the new matte. We were talking about before how Needle Spray synergizes with the Tamer included in the starter deck. So does this card, since it gives you memory when one of your Digimon is destroyed. So it also reduces the cost of this card down to 0.
Right. Super cheap. Trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with this card here. I'm doing the proxy now for the Devimon.
This is a big buff to rematch Edamon.
Can you talk about that a little bit, quick?
Oh, rematch Edamon?
Yeah, how does this card play well with that?
Because you run your silly cards that just like Sukumon and Edamon that just want to be blown up to play the gotcha and see if you can get the value out of them.
Got it.
Yeah, any deck that has the undulation effects on your own Digimon that you want to trigger, this card just helps you trigger it for even cheaper, so you don't have to force yourself to use something like Chimeramon and potentially like give your opponent like all the memory in the world.
And it's there's a lot more value. There's confirmed value out of this instead of rematch, where you might swing in and use rematch, swing in, and nothing happens.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this, you're getting confirmed at least a 1-for-1, and potentially getting your lotto effect off.
Do you guys like, so right now the Discord went with Touch of Evil, but I guess that is the dub name. There's also other like Evil Touch, Black Talon, Evil Wing, Deathclaw. Should we go with Deathclaw? Which one do you guys think they will stick with on the English release?
They haven't always been changing options to dub names in the official English release. Like we've seen on the starter decks, Gaia Force is Gaia Force instead of Terra Force.
Mm-hmm.
So it could go either way, because I think there are at least a handful of options that retain their dub names, like Spider Shooter is still Spider Shooter instead of Hell's Grenade.
I think
it feels arbitrary. Like,
yeah, I was gonna
it's
say,
up in the air.
They all get the idea across.
Okay, I mean, if it's arbitrary, which one do you guys like more?
Bad Touch.
What did you say? Bad Touch?
Bad Touch.
That's not one of the options. I thought you said Bat Touch.
Bat Touch also works.
Let's go with Deathclaw then, the most with the Japanese name basically. Or I'm sorry, Deathclaw. It says Detsukuro on the Japanese. Okay, and then I think Numon really wants ChikuChiku BangBang on the card, which is the main one, which is Needle Spray. Maybe I'll make a special version for him, because I think Needle Spray is quite popular, at least on the dub side. And these
Needle Spray does roll off a tongue better than ChikuChiku BangBang.
Yeah. We didn't discuss really. These cards are common.
Well, they're starter deck cards, so the rarities aren't that relevant.
Yep, you're
Yeah.
right.
It only affects their foiling.
Yeah, if you ever did any sort of draft, it's a common card.
Oh, yeah, if you want to do a custom draft.
Oh no, why isn't it working? There we go. The spacing looks so weird. What the hell is going on? 8. Okay, and then yesterday, I think we briefly talked about it, and not really talked about it. Yesterday's reveals were for just the starter deck. Tamers revealed again with high definition. So nothing too new there. Okay. Have you guys been able to try the new cards yet? No, I asked you yesterday.
Which ones?
The one from yesterday. I can't imagine anybody played
Nah.
the ones today yet.
No, I haven't had a chance.
Okay.
I played a little bit with Devimon if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, let's
Go for it.
I don't know. He doesn't seem to be that strong at the current moment, and he definitely needs to have some support from the set in some way. A lot of other people talked about this already in the Discord chat, but like he is just not proactive enough. He puts too much into the hands of the player. Everything is like whether you destroy them or like deal with his effect. The effect is only once per turn. So if the opponent is like ahead in security, they just sort of don't care. And if they can just deal more than 1 damage per turn, then it's just not hurting them fast enough, honestly. And he comes out way too slow too. Like his effect really wants you to be ahead in security so that it forces their opponent into a bind. But he comes out so slow that it's generally not happening.
Yeah, he kind of, on paper, he just kind of seems worse than what Mastamon does. Theoretically, he could do something, but if this is on the board and your opponent is swinging in that much, it's either because like it's almost guaranteed to be because they're ahead and they don't care.
Right, it's hard to see this basically as your win con right now, just because there's not enough synergy with other cards.
Especially since discarding the security doesn't win you the game in the same way, like say in a game with life totals, if it just dealt damage, then it could win you the game. In this game, this effect won't ever cause lethal damage, so the opponent can just literally ignore it and kill you.
Right, unless we get an option card that basically says you must attack on your turn, opponent's turn, you must attack. Then
I don't know. What could you can try and be funny and like throw this in like Mega Zoo. And then and you basically have a thing where you basically have a setup for your Millenniumon, and if they try and get rid of it, it's gonna punish them, and if they just try and go face, you're gonna advance the game state for yourself.
Okay.
That makes the most sense. It feels like the discard effect is actually the scariest effect on this thing, actually. Even though in this game, the way you draw on after every evolution allows you to stay with like a generally pretty heavy hand size, that oftentimes that this effect comes in way too late for how slow it is. At that point, they can just discard the two things that, like, the two most least likely to be played cards from their hands and just move on with their life.
Pretty much. But it could definitely be an annoying opener for Mega Zoo if they just like turn 1 Evo into rookie, play 2 to go into champion, and then you just drop this.
Alright. I think we've kind of run out of things to talk about today, which is not bad. We got 3 exciting cards, no real controversy on them, besides Black maybe not getting something as great. But I think everybody's used to that at this point.
Yeah, it's a little...
Yeah, I guess I play a lot of options, and I don't think this is going to change their mind.
So,
do the starter decks have more options confirmed in them?
I think there's like one other option.
Yep, 2 options each deck.
Here's to hoping that Black gets a good one on the second round.
That's possible. We still have the other card.
Yeah. These are cheap options. Maybe the other one will be expensive option.
Ooh, that's a good point, Tessero. We didn't talk about that part. So when the decks are ordered, typically the lower cost, it's sorted by cost. So the lower cost will go first, and then we have SD6 16. There, it's up to 16, right? Pretty sure when we saw the deck list, it went up to 16. Come on. It's just in the chat the other day.
We have a bot command, right?
I'm sorry?
A bot command that summons the starter deck lists.
I don't remember, but I just scrolled up. There's Nailbone for... Yeah, so it is going up to 16. Nailbone for purple, Electroshocker for green, and Genocide Attack for black.
So does that imply that they're more expensive?
They're going to be more expensive. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, I can't wait for that 8 cost purple option.
I mean, I can see it, right? It's going to be the one that avoids. What was the
played with
card?
Melga, Black Metal Guru.
Yeah, Black Metal Guru.
Oh, it's interesting.
I'm hoping for something that I can play with Black Metal Guru, because in my testing of it, Trump Sword can be pretty awkward sometimes because they can just turn sideways.
It's a bit rough that Black's not going to get anything as cheap as 2 or 1 though. It's a bit unfortunate.
It's going to be at least 4 cost, unfortunately, for whatever option they decide. But a Genocide Attack, that sounds scary and ominous.
Feels almost on brand for Black for all of their options to be expensive. Like in the same way, all their level 5s are expensive.
Okay. It looks like they're revealing starter deck cards first.
I'm glad we're getting them in batches instead of having to sit through like we're doing green today and purple today.
Oh, you mean the 1 card each?
Yeah.
I agree with you there. This is much nicer. We can start playing with the cards faster. Okay, here is security effect. It looks like it's pretty good already. I don't know if you guys are looking the stream. Just want to double check that it didn't have any mistakes. And then Newmont says Genocide Attack 6 cost D-Digital 1 to destroy it if it's 6 costs or less. So it's kind of like
cool Millennium on answer.
It's kind of like whatchamacallit. That was a good time.
Yeah, you can see them just having a really big. That was a good time. It's sort of like their equivalent to Gaia Force.
That's
could.
Interesting.
I don't know. I'd like them to get some. I'd like them to get something that helps them control more. That's all I can really say is I'd like something that encourages more synergy with something, please.
Okay.
That's all I want.
Gotcha. Okay. I think with that, there's not much else to talk about, so I don't want to drag it out. I am just making the cards now. I'm going to move on to the next one. So that's purple, Deathclaw, and then we'll do... what do you guys want to do next, green or black? Probably green, because black's card sucks.
True.
Like,
makes sense.
Even if you had a D-Digivolve centric deck, I can't even imagine that deck. What the hell is that deck?
Really?
I mean, it's gonna be some junk blockers.
In order
right?
for D-Digivolve to be like to have any kind of relevancy, you'd need something equivalent to like Mallow or something, where every time you do Digivolve something, you gain memory.
Right, or some
Oh,
other
no.
effect.
That sounds great, but at the same time, Blitzgreymon exists and is actually a problem card.
That's true. That one.
Theoretically.
So is he a problem because it's D-Digivolve 2, or because it's the cost is so cheap on a Digimon?
It's like the full package. He's a great body. He's got piercing. He did
And he's-
Digivolves too for
and
4
he's
memory.
red.
Yeah, and he's red, so he goes into either Omegamon or Alter S.
That's true. card option.
Like, say if like, so I did Digivolve 2 for 4 memory, same cost as Blitz, it would be okay, but it still wouldn't be as good as Blitz, because Blitz also, evolves one of your Digimon into a big 12k piercing body that can also go into Omegamon. And of course draws you a card because you evolve.
I totally agree with that. It gets a lot of benefits.
The only advantage would be is that you don't have a level 6 on board, or a level 5 on board.
I really want to play already. I haven't been able to play much. Been busy.
I'm enjoying not having to play a little bit.
Right. Our previous champion here from the Digimon did have to play quite a lot. And then, did you play another tournament after that, Quicks?
Yeah, I was in Nightmares Coliseum.
Yeah, Nightmares Coliseum, which there's also another one coming up on December 5th, I believe. I think that's what he said. Sometime next
You're
week.
entering that one, right, Tessero?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to beat that one.
Oh,
to make up for
deck cards.
to make up for the challenge bubbling you out.
Yeah, I
That's
mean, it makes sense why it went below here says. I went 2-1 when it should have gone 2-0, so I lost. I didn't make it top 8. I've been practicing this whole time, trying to find a good build as well. I don't know if purple's gonna make it though.
Yeah, have you decided that purple's on a chopping block, or are you still trying to make it work?
I mean, it depends on what's gonna be allowed. He's probably gonna allow all the new starter deck cards because I think he told me he's specifically made it December 5th because then the starter decks will be fully out by then.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So there could be something in there that like I can finally play purple.
Yeah, I mean,
but like if all else fails, I'm just gonna resort to red.
Okay, not gonna stoop to my level and play green.
I think red is just as good as green in this format.
That's probably true.
I've been so out of it. Like, are we talking about like Blitz Greymon red or?
I think it's just kind
Mega
of
Red that runs Blitz Greymon because he's so good.
Yeah, it's just kind of like a red toolbox control. Just go up into things that hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Have to experiment with that Rookie Rush deck and see how viable that is.
I mean, it's been winning tournaments in Japan as well. I think they've early on in the meta, some tier lists were already placing that specific deck pretty high up.
Yep, it's understandable. Definitely seems annoying.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those decks where it seems really strong, and you'd have to. I don't think there are enough people playing it, like at least server side, yet that trying to like tech for it isn't necessarily a great play.
That's exactly why Hong decided to play it. It's a strong deck, but none of us are like on the server is just like playing it. So he's just like, okay, no one's gonna be teching me for it. I'm gonna play it and win.
Makes sense.
What did he win again on that? He said he won it wasn't a Rookie Rush deck, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Nightmare Coliseum, it was a Rookie Rush deck.
Yep.
Would you like for example, like if we were theory crafting red for the next Nightmare Coliseum, do you think we're going to see like an uptick in decks like Huang, or do you think it's just that's still going to be a deck that a lot of people aren't going to be attracted to?
I don't think a lot of people are attracted to Rookie Rush around here. A lot of people want to play something a bit more interesting, I guess. If that makes sense. There might be like 1 or 2 people who are like, oh, this is really strong, I should just play it. Would be annoying for me, but
would you take it into account, or would you just?
I think the matchup is almost even. I mean, not almost even, but like I have Alteress, which is like a really nice answer.
Yeah, I'm just curious if it would encourage you to play something like Volcanic Dramon or not.
I think the deck I'd run would include one of Volcanic Dramon anyway. But that deck in particular runs a lot of 5k rookies, so...
Yeah,
specifically because Volcanic Dramon is a thing.
Gotcha. I don't know. It's hard because I mean, running the rookie rush deck, it's almost like a 50-50. Like you get your things out there, or the other player has some sort of answer, and you're not even really going anywhere.
Oh yeah, a lot of what the deck runs, like in its option lineup, is specifically to make sure there's no answer.
Mm-hmm.
Probably just because I haven't seen Kong's deck itself, but yeah. Newmon asked in chat, in everyone's opinion, how are the starter decks looking compared to one another? Okay,
To one another?
let's discount the fact that Hercules is almost the strongest card of all of those.
Are we including the promos that come with the starter decks?
Let's just say
I don't think so.
Then you pull that. But
I don't think so because because I don't think so because you still have just the starter decks, which is decks on its own. If you include the promos, you'd have to like fit it in somewhere into the deck.
Okay, let's go with that then.
I definitely think green's looking the best right now. For sure. Like every card. Like I mean, I don't know if I'd necessarily play Izzy, but it's not a bad card.
Mm-hmm.
Every card out of green so far has been good. Like Rosemon is also a card I wouldn't say that I don't think you need to play anymore, but it's definitely not bad.
I feel the same way about purple.
Yeah,
The purple deck. All of the mons in there are pretty solid. Even Venom. Still think Venom is the best of those three cost megas that we're getting from the starter decks.
I would agree. I mean, if you were just to compare them to themselves, I would personally lean Rosemon, but Rosemon's just so inferior to things we already have in green that yeah, Venom covers a niche that nothing else really does for purple.
Also, the overall deck composition of the starter deck, where they have like a whole 16 rookies, is really nice for purple because purple likes their rookies, and it's already emphasizing the purple playstyle of having a bunch of rookies that you just sort of use as cannon fodder. You got things like Myotismon to give them vengeance, to sacrifice them into things. You got the Deathclaw card that lets you sacrifice it to destroy a blocker or something. And you got Kreskarurumon to bring them back onto the field. It feels really like a very cohesive strategy.
Yep. I think black's really weird because just everything it's gotten, it seems to have no synergy with one another.
Right.
It's just here or there. Like everything we've seen blocker, we've seen a reboot, give stuff a reboot. We've seen Digiburst get power. Now we have Digivolve. Like they're just throwing everything. Everything black can do, just thrown in there with no real coherency to it.
Right. Either there's going to be a missing piece here that we're not seeing, or it's just let's throw some cool Digimon together and that'll be good enough.
Pretty much, yeah. It's just strange. I don't know what to say about it. Black's just it's a bit unfortunate even because I feel like they need a little bit of a boost.
Mm-hmm.
I get you. It is a little lacking.
Like I think some of the strangest stuff is like this feels like you took just set cards that like you're just printing cards that are this does this and this does this, and you just put them in a starter deck. It's like you bring it back down to like the Gapurimon they got. I don't think either of their megas has blocker that we've seen.
Yeah.
And so you just have a Digitama that doesn't do anything once you get to your bosses.
You can activate it with the new Metal Greymon, at least, in the starter deck.
Alright, now finishing up with Laser Eye here. Desert
And that makes me sad because it actually seems like it's probably the intention is you're supposed to evolve into Metal Gray, get blocker, swing with it, and then evolve into Machine German and get reboot.
So much memory.
It's so much memory to do like nothing.
I
You
mean,
know, and the starter decks don't come with memory tamers, so it's like, and they're the only tamer that doesn't give them memory too. Like, you know, Izzy and Matt give you memory for doing some effect, and then there's the new tie that just doesn't do that.
yeah, it's asking for a lot.
It's very weird. Definitely a little weird. This set almost seems to be pushing like, not set. This starter deck for black almost seems to be pushing like temporary keywords for it.
Mhm.
Well, like not even keywords, just like temporary buffs, like getting reboot, getting blocker, getting blitz, gaining momentary power. Which I mean, theoretically could be interesting, but I don't see them doing anything with it.
True.
Something off about the black option template. I don't like it, but I don't have time to work on it. I'll just use it, whatever. Alright, saving. Just double check this one. Security, activate this card's main effect. Common, laser eye. Oh, the Digivolve keyword. Almost forgot about that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you didn't notice.
I did not. Digivolve too. I know Zafy said he was working on some new templates. I'll be interested in seeing what he has up for everybody.
It feels like the intention of the Digivolve was to keep your opponent's Digimon small enough that you can just block them if they ever decide to attack. Or, like, you know, force them to, like, think twice about attacking because you have a blocker. But it just didn't turn out that way.
It doesn't turn out that way because like every method of de-digivolving other than like Blitz, which isn't even black really, is so expensive that they end up just kind of being able to go back up anyway.
Basically.
It's almost weird
I mean,
how costed.
I feel like Infinity Cannon is fairly costed if you like use it on something good. Like if you use that on a like level 7, that's fairly costed to use, you know, Infinity Cannon on it. But that use case is a bit too narrow.
I just think black could use an option that is unfairly costed. I think they could
Yeah.
afford one option that's just really good.
Make sure you edit
Yeah.
that.
I'm finding the one right now.
Don't want people to give people any ideas. This is a good card.
Get some pixels here. Alright, there we go. Sorry, black players. We're gonna be covering that up.
Unfortunate. I mean, at least you guys got Agumon.
Yep, toy Agumon. Black belt.
I meant regular Agumon, the blocker that you got.
Blocker. Man, it's a shitty block. I mean, I like that it's a blocker. Don't get me wrong. I love that card. It's just, it's not big enough to be a blocker. Do we even have any other blockers in this starter yet? No, we don't.
No, we have Metal Gray who can turn something into a blocker.
I do have to assume that they will be getting at least a level 4 blocker, and it'll probably be another one cost like Kabuteria one, because it makes sense for black to get one too as well.
Definitely would be annoying if it wasn't.
I mean, yeah, if that wasn't the case, then we'd really have to think that the devs really hate black.
Like, what are they trying to counter against? Like, we got the Black War Greymon, the secret one. It's still, I mean, it's okay. It wasn't that great. So it's not like black was going anywhere crazy.
If I've learned anything from the last 3 sets, it's that the designers like to overcompensate for things. Shine was almost too good, so yellow got just cut out at the knees, and green was so bad that they were just like, yeah, here you go, have hidden potential and hurt. It's whatever.
I wonder if they're really just kneecapping black just to prevent like a random Diaboromon meta.
I don't think we'll ever see Diaboromon meta as long as Omegamon's alive.
Doesn't feel that likely that that's the case. I don't know what they're afraid of black going completely popping off. I mean, it makes sense,
my only theory
if
is
black
that
was good, then that'd be really annoying to play against because their playstyle is so slow.
Blocker reboot.
Yeah.
my only theory is that maybe black's gonna get some crazy stuff next set, or at least I hope.
Maybe.
Maybe
I hope
Shine.
they're overcompensating for like, oh, this card's gonna be silly, so we'll just give them some okay cards.
Honestly, the promo Black War Greymon is actually can be pretty nutty in the right situations. I was playing against Sack the other day.
Right.
He was actually able to get the whole the Toyagumon and BT2 Metal Greymon under it, so it's like basically an OTK machine.
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
of swings when it has the player view.
It's a 5-0, right?
Yep. And it can just finish the game as well. Not just like a...
It's most dangerous when you only have 4. The first swing takes care of 2, the second swing takes care of 2, and then the third swing will be for game.
It's definitely one of those cards that can secure game in situations where your opponent might not think you have it available to you.
I mean, they gotta see it coming, right? Well, I guess...
If you're using it as a tech, it
Even if the opponent does see you coming, like if they're hiding it in the racing area, it can sometimes be difficult to play around it.
Right.
If you've got
Like you need a lot of blockers to block all of that. Especially if you have the security attack +1 on it some way. Like I mentioned before with the Toyagumon and Metal Greymon. The only weakness about that is that he's not going to be pretty high in DP.
No, he's not very big.
Alright, let's look at some... Give me an option card from Green.
Underworld.
And potential. You probably worked on that recently, didn't you?
Alright, I can't even find that right now. A better one.
Flower Cannon.
Flower Cannon. Okay, what I do when I input the new cards into the database is I look for, just an older card and then kind of...
Flower Cannon makes no sense because you don't have to change much. Just the security effect in the name. And I guess like the other small details like the set number.
Okay, no, that was a good suggestion. Starter. Green. Alright, Needle Spray. so much less colorful than that one that I just replaced. And this one is green.
This is like the fourth purple option in a row that we've had, which is just Digimon standing with its hand out.
I mean, that's the popular pose.
I mean, with Devimon, it kind of makes sense. It's sort of the iconic thing that he does.
Oh no, I was just looking at the set 3 stuff, and I was like, oh, all the options that we got from that set have the exact same pose as well.
Nice. Alright, this one is a common card, green. Main, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Security. Activate. Discards. Main effect. Then add this card to its owner's hand. Okay, no special stuff. Who's the artist here? It is Funbolt.
Yeah, they all have the same artist this time.
Okay. Okay, that's one card down. And then now let's look at Laser Eye. That's going to be closest to probably what do we have? Spider.
Either Spider or That Was a Good Time.
Or, yeah, or
That Was a Good Time has the right cost.
Okay, going to That Was a Good Time. It's going to be in Mugen Black. SD5-16.
1-5.
Oh, thank you. I know you guys can't see it on the screen. Laser Eye. 4 cost. Common. Black. One of your opponents Digivolve 1. Or, let me rewrite this. One of your opponents Digimon. Oh, actually, we rewrote the whole thing.
It's up to 2 of your opponent's Digimon. Is it up to 2 or is it just exactly 2?
It's up to 2.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the bottom, security, activate this card's main effect. Funbolt. Alright, that's card number 2. And lastly, we have the purple one. I have
Heat
that for-
Viper is probably the most closest one.
Oh, and we have that one in English. Alright, Heat Viper. Deathclaw. Oh man, these colors. Okay. And then, if you guys are still watching, we are making a big update to the website. Hopefully by the end of this month. I know the days are taken away, and every day just gets busier and busier. C6, S15. With the starter decks coming out and BT4 also coming out. Getting a lot of cards here. It's Christmas time. Okay, 1 cost instead of 5. You may delete one of your Digimon to delete up to 1 of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. Okay. Security is delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. Okay, and Funbolt again. Double check. Yep. Alright, that's submitted. Let's go ahead and refresh it so it goes on the website. And then if you you guys could just do double check. It should be live now on digimoncar.dev.
Yeah, I see Laser Eye. I see Deathclaw. And I see Needle Spray.
Great.
Yep, I see them too.
Alright, everything looks good. Thanks everybody for watching this morning. We're gonna go ahead and cut it out. And we'll see you guys tomorrow at probably around 7:30 again. Hope everybody has a good day. Thanks Tessero and Quicks for joining.
Of course.
Yeah, of course.